Right now is the greatest time in the history of the world to be in your 20s. Yes, there's a lot of people who are going to say AI is going to replace your jobs, or if you're graduating high school or college, how in the world am I going to find a job? Is AI going to take everything away? What I want to do is throw all of that in the trash and give you the biggest advantage of your life that'll change the next 20 years if you listen to what I'm about to share. And the inspiration behind all of this is 1 week ago, a friend of mine reached out to me and said, "Hey, Rob, can you coach my 19-year-old son who's in college and he's concerned that when he graduates, he's not going to be able to get a job because of AI?" 24 hours later, I get an email in my inbox saying, "Rob, I have 5 kids from the age of 19 to 26. What should they learn because of AI? What are their skills? What should they do?" So what I want to do is pay this forward to both of them and anybody else who has kids in their 20s to help them take advantage of the true opportunity that is sitting there in AI in a way that nobody else is going to share for them. And where I'm coming at from this is a few different perspectives. Number one, I was in my 20s once. I graduated college at Miami of Ohio 25 years ago. I was a marketing major. I had this dream of working for an ad agency, being all creative, brainstorming, doing all of that stuff. Little did I know that I would be unemployed for a year and a half, dead broke, living off my credit card. And it was only until I was able to get a job at a Fifth Third Bank call center, making $10 an hour, selling inbound home equity loans. It was the complete opposite of my dreams, and it was everywhere I did not want to be. And if you could tell me right now that I could change places with somebody who is graduating college right now, holy smokes, Batman. This is the biggest opportunity ever, because no generation ever in the history of the world has had more opportunity than those who are graduating right now because of AI. The challenge just is nobody is translating this in a way where you can capitalize on that advantage, and that's what I want to do right now. So let's start with this, and we're actually going to go to the end. The number one advantage you can have is I want you to go all in on AI. Not tech, not tools, not automation, but all in on your ability to leverage AI for whatever it is that you want to create. Because here's what so many people are not going to say is, where is this knowledge coming from? Most parents, most CEOs, most people with jobs right now, they don't know anything about AI. How do I know? Because I've been coaching people for the last 3.5 years. I've got 1,200 consecutive days of using AI. 500 hours of coaching entrepreneurs and leaders and their teams with AI. And my DMs are filled with people from corporate America and entrepreneurs who aren't sure what to do. They're sort of dabbling. They like this idea, and then they're doing nothing with it. Well, guess what? Everybody is starting at zero, myself included. 3.5 years ago, I had no experience in any of this. I have no tech background, no coding background, and no AI background. But within the first minute of using ChatGPT, I felt like I used the internet for the first time. Immediately, I saw the next decade of business, and I was all in. So the advantage for everybody in their 20s right now is you get a 20-year head start on everybody else. And the number one thing that is limiting people in corporate America right now is time. And the number one thing that people in their 20s typically have is time, because you don't have to sit there and unwind having a big family and having a job and having all of these big responsibilities. You have the ability to wake up and say, I'm going to make this day my masterpiece. Let me leverage AI in a way that can serve me. And then the second big advantage that I want to give you is a perspective. And it is coming from a human first, heart first perspective to AI, where you lead. You are the boss, not the AI. And the rest of the market has this backwards. They want everything just to be automated by the tech and the tools and the automation. That is background. That is backwards. What I want you to do is lead with your vision. What is it that you want to create? Your values, who you are every single day that makes you unique, and your goals. What it is that you want to create in your life. So let's do this in a few different ways right here. And this is something that I'm going to give you the ultimate gift. I want you to watch this entire video, and at the end of this video, you're going to take this transcript and you're going to put this into Claude, and I'm going to give you a prompt, and you're going to drop this. I'll put the prompt in the description, and you will create an AI playbook for how you can create a roadmap for what you want to do next in your life based on everything that I'm sharing right here today. So not only am I going to plant a seed of possibility to show you how we can use AI, I'm going to do it in a way that is personalized to you, because you cannot give to others that which you're not experiencing yourself. This conversation right here is the exact same thing that I would give my clients that I'm paying me, except I'm now doing this specifically for where you are right now in your 20s and how you can capitalize on this opportunity. Because once again, I want you to be as excited as I am right now, because there has never been a better time to make your dreams and goals and vision happen. And even if it's like, but Rob, I don't even have a job right now. Congratulations. We are going to make you so undeniable that the rest of the world is going to be coming to you. So let's start with this. And I've said that like 3 times, but you'll get this, let's rewind 16 years ago. And I'm in corporate America. So remember that whole graduated college? Well, guess what? The next decade of my life, I did not like what I did. I was selling digital advertising. I would switch jobs every year or two to get one that is a closer commute or makes more money. And I became very good at selling digital advertising, made good money, but did not wake up every single day looking to sling banner ads and text links. And so much of the narrative is, hey, you graduate college, get a job, make it safe, all of that. Except you fail to realize that, you know what's not fun? Not liking your life for a decade and only living towards the weekends. But AI can help you change all of that. So I sat there, and I remember this vividly, and I was working 20 hours at my actual job, doing very good, and working 20 hours on building a sports blog, because that was my dreams. And I would just sit there in a cubicle, sitting there saying, man, I would do anything to wake up every single day and just create sports content for a living. So eventually I got to the point where the bigger risk for me was not taking the risk. So I left my multiple 6-figure job and went all in and making my dreams happen, going to $0 overnight. So for many of you right now, you're probably sitting there at zero, no job, not a ton of money. I have been there multiple times in my life. When I graduated college, and then when I quit corporate America, back down to zero. And a mentor said something to me that changed the rest of my life, and it is so applicable for you in the AI era. He said, Rob, if you ever hope to get paid to do what you love, you better be doing it already. So I wanted to get paid to talk about sports for a living. How in the world do you do that? I taught myself podcasting, audio and video editing, being on camera, being a host, social media marketing, brand building, essentially everything on the other side of building a media company. So I kept showing up and doing it every single day. And the beautiful thing about the AI era is it is completely unromantic about who you are, how much money you have in the bank, how much experience you have in business, what your GPA is, what your parents do, or where you live. You know what matters? It says, show me your receipts. And this is a huge advantage for you right now in your 20s, because everybody else in corporate America right now, they've got so much stuff going on. I don't have time to learn AI. right? And eventually this is going to catch up to them, because that's what I'm talking with my clients all the time. So no one's going to share this with you because there's very few people who are an AI coach who's been doing this for years. But I'm here to tell you that one of the big level ups for you is just get in the game. Because legitimately, when I work with someone, so whether it is somebody joining my team, a virtual assistant, a one-on-one coaching client, or their team, I give them the same foundational AI training that can make them better than the 99% of people in the world like this. How do I know? Because I've experienced this with myself, reverse engineered the process and said, hey, here's how you can think, here's how you can create, and here's how we can turn this into revenue. And most people are just not willing to do that. But this is the beautiful thing for you, because if the world is saying to you, hey, you're not going to get a job because of AI, you're going to throw that in the trash and say, I'm going to listen to the guy who created his own job in his own company, in his own dreams, and he is leveraging AI. He had no experience in all of this, but guess what? He shows the path for how you can do this, and you can too. So the big advantage for you is you can legitimately be better in AI in 30 days than 90% of CEOs and executives in corporate America right now. And there is no hyperbole in this, because I see it every single day with myself. So with this, let's get to the next thing that I would encourage you to think about, or how I would advise you. And that is all around, what are the best skills that you can learn right now? And the number one thing I would impart in you is to create a growth mindset. Because once again, so much of the narrative out there right now on AI and jobs is scarcity. Oh my God, AI is replacing jobs. These jobs aren't going to exist. What in the world are robots going to be our overlords, right? Throw that in the trash, because fixed mindset says, I'm stuck in this position. I'm trapped. There's nothing that I can do. That's not how we get down. Or a growth mindset says, hey, I can always improve my position and make this better. And I'm sharing this with you because for the first 30 years of my life, I did not have a growth mindset. Why? Because through kindergarten through 12th grade, 4 years of college, and a decade in corporate America, not a single person said, hey, Rob, have you ever heard of a growth mindset or what to do? So it wasn't until I quit my corporate job and I'm at $0, no website, no clients, no nothing. And I was like, crap, I better figure this thing out, because that meter is running. So I audited the success habits of the most successful people in the world, the people that I aspired to be like and do things like. I'm like, what in the world are they doing? And I kept hearing the same thing. The average CEO reads 60 books a year. And I looked and I was like, crap, I'm reading 0. I should probably figure out what to do on all of this. And this single habit that I created right here changed the rest of my life. So if something is important enough, you will always find time to make it happen. When is there always time? First thing in the morning. So for the last 16 years, every single day, weekends included, the first thing that I've done is read a book for 30 minutes a day. So this is books around creativity, entrepreneurship, leadership, biographies, things that stimulate my mind. Because I saw my dreams on the other side of learning how to read, right? I'd never been exposed to like reading for fun or to make yourself better. So much of what I learned in school was like, let me memorize this thing, and then it goes nowhere. And it's like, cool, I'm going to be working for an ad agency. It's like, no, you're not. You have no experience. Here's unemployment. So the biggest thing, and if you take nothing away from this video other than this, let it be this. The thing that'll change your life in the AI era is learning how to create a reading routine. So my encouragement is get yourself a Kindle, or if you prefer to read actual books, go ahead and do it. The reason I like a Kindle is because it's digital, and then you can highlight the notes when you're reading the book, because then you have a record of those notes and you can review those. So I started by reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and Tony Robbins, and Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Workweek. And then slowly but surely, you hear of this book, and then this book, and then this book, and then your growth mindset builds. And the reason this is so important is because, once again, so much of the noise with AI right now is scarcity. It's telling you what's being taken away from us. Throw that in the trash. That is not what is going to help our dreams and goals and visions come to life faster. We want to be living in abundance. And part of that is your ability to grow. Because the other thing that is keeping corporate America stuck right now is their lack of a willingness to grow. Because they're in their job, they have all these responsibilities right now. So they say, I don't have time to learn anything new. Oh my God, AI is just moving so fast. I can't keep up with it. Throw that in the trash. That's just dumb, right? Because if you could do anything that you want in your life, and AI can help you do that, then you just say, where do I want to play? Where do I want to grow? Where do I want to learn? But that starts with investing in your own mindset and then going from there. And legitimately, if I could give this advice to me 25 years ago, there would be so much more growth, because I had to learn this thing the hard way, and I'm paying it forward for you. So with this, what I would love for you to do, and there's a mantra that I always share with my clients: stacking ones over zeros. When it comes to your mindset in the AI era, I don't need you to become an expert. I don't need you to become all techie and codey and automation and everything. I want you to have incremental improvement, 1% better every day. One of the things that completely changed my life was a mindset that I created for myself. And it was, my goal every single day is to make myself better today than I was yesterday. By design, if I read a book for 30 minutes every single day, first thing in the morning, I'm already better today than I was yesterday. So now imagine applying that to the other areas of your life, or what you're looking to create, or that lens of AI. Because the next part of this becomes, remember, if you're at zero, that's great, because I was at zero, and so was legitimately 90% of the market right now, CEOs and everybody else. So here's how I want you to think about this. Step one, go from zero to in the game. Hey, I watched this video. I'm committed to leveraging AI, even if I have no idea what I'm doing. Step number two, get in your first 20 hours. This is legitimately the exact same advice that I give my clients who pay me, right? Well, why do we do it this way? Think of it like learning how to play guitar or ride a bike. So you get a bike and you have no idea what you're going to do. So they pop on those training wheels, and you use those training wheels for a little bit of time. And you're like, wow, I'm starting to get the hang of this. And then they take off those training wheels. And then once those training wheels are off, all right, you're a little shaky, but you get better and you get better. And the more you do it, the better you get. And then eventually, a year later, you're popping wheelies on that bike. But you can't just sit there and be like, oh my God, I'm at zero. I'm never going to be able to pop wheelies. People just want to jump to that. No, the key to growth in anything in life, and certainly AI, is experience. And once again, this is another superpower for you in your 20s, because there's so many people in corporate America right now who are stacking a bunch of zeros. They are not growing and learning how to integrate AI into what they're doing. So because of this, your ability to far surpass them is infinite. So legitimately, in 30 days, you can be better with AI than 99% of people in the world. And I say that with confidence because we can do that with your eyes closed. Because all you've got to do is be unromantic about this. 0 to 1, cool, I'm in the game. Number 2, get in your first 20 hours. Why 20? Because we're riding the bike. You will learn more from experience than you will from anything else. And then from there, cool, after your next 20 hours, now we're off to the races. Hey, what do I like? What do I not like? What do I want to learn? What's new? How do I integrate this into what I'm doing right there? And remember, I had no experience in this whatsoever, so this does not have to do with tech, coding, automation, or tools. That's just a scarcity mindset, because 99% of what you're going to hear about AI is probably going to come from tech people. But here's the thing. I don't relate to tech people. They're oftentimes hard to communicate with. I'm someone without that background. But I'm somebody who is all in on my goals and dreams and vision of making that happen. And I'm going to do this in my way. And so can you. Because this comes back to that human first perspective to AI. There is nobody else like you in the world in the best way possible. Do not let corporate America or the tech people tell you that it has to be a certain way. I'm telling you, it is not correct. Because the last 16 years of my life have been the complete opposite of the way that 99% of people in the world live, in the best way possible. So I want to get very specific on answering a few questions that can help you along your way on your journey. So number one, where and how do you learn about AI? Cool, Rob, I'm vibing with this. What do I do now? So this is something that goes back to the growth mindset. And for the first decade of my entrepreneurial journey, I did not have any money to be able to invest in virtually anything, right? I was bootstrapped. I'm figuring this thing out very clunkily. I just allowed my passion, my goals, and my dreams to fuel me. So my mentors were the books that I read, the podcasts that I listened to, the YouTube videos that I watched, all things that are free. And here's a little hack that very few people are going to tell you. The library is a great place to get books. Why? Because they're free. You can sign up for a digital library card and get endless books that you can read there. Nice and simple way to save money. And then the next level will be investing in courses, because if you want to go somewhere, the fastest way to go is to go with somebody who's already been there, right? So that's your next level of this, is your ability to pay your first $99 for something. And I remember hiring my first coach, I think it was for $2,000. And at that time, that was like $1 million to me, right? $2,000 is like, holy smokes, where in the world am I going to get this? And it was for a brand coach. And it was the best investment and decision of my life, because I never set out to become a coach. I just lived like one for more than a decade until people started to hire me to help them be better at business by being better at life. And then AI comes around and I was all in the first week. And then that has been the main driver of my business. And it's why I'm paying this forward for you. So how you learn is your ability to self-learn. Once again, this is another one of the reasons why corporate America is going to fail, because they are not going to do this. Because if you're self-learning, then you're going to implement that. But most people do not do that. But I want you to take from this, you are not most people, because you are listening to this right now. So the next thing would be the top skills that you can acquire. And this next one here, man, this is the biggest gift in the world, and it is self-awareness. Once again, like growth mindset, for the first 30 years of my life, nobody ever told me that self-awareness was a thing. It wasn't until my very first day of being an entrepreneur, where I went from corporate America in a cubicle to $0 overnight, and I wake up in the morning and it's like, there is no one to tell me what to do. Who do I call? What do I work on? What do I eat? I go to the gym or not? What do I do? And for a lot of people, it's like, oh my God, everything's on me. But for me, who had been living a life that I did not like for a decade, I was like, holy smokes, are you kidding me? Every decision is on me. And it blows my mind that for 30 years, no one ever said, hey, Rob, do you know what self-awareness means? And self-awareness is just the realization that you're in control of every single aspect of your life. Your thoughts, your feelings, what you do every single day. So often we might trade our time freedom to go work for a job that will help you pay the bills. And a lot of people absolve themselves from it. It's like, oh my God, I'm back on the grind, versus understanding that everything you do is a conscious choice. And man, if you can get this for where you are right now in your 20s, it'll change the rest of your life when you put together self-awareness with growth mindset. Because the third thing that I want to help give you from a mindset perspective is all around the word intention. The more intentional you can be about every single aspect of your life, the better, especially when you are using AI. Because in AI, when you're prompting on Claude or ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever tool you have access to, remember this: gold in, gold out. Garbage in, garbage out. So if you give the AI a bunch of garbage, it's going to give you something that you're like, this thing doesn't work. Versus if you're just intentional about what you're putting in. And what does that mean? You're sitting there for a second and you're thinking about, hey, what is the outcome of what I would love to create right now inside of AI? And then from there, you give it the details, the context, that nuance. So what I call this is outcome-based prompting, meaning you start at the end and then you work backwards, because AI can help you do that. And when you understand that the level of intention that you bring to everything, from the way that you learn, to the way that you work out, to the way that you see the game of AI, all of that is in your control. And once again, it speaks to that human first, heart first perspective to AI. And you're not going to hear the word intention from tech people, because they're just going to want to try and tell you how we can do everything faster with coding and automation and robots and all of that stuff. I'm here to tell you intention is the key to the next level for you. The fourth thing here, and I love this one because this is who I am and what I do, and it's one of your superpowers too, is creativity. There is no one else like you in the world in the best way possible. And in the AI era, there's going to be so much sameness because it's simple and easy to flip things around quickly. So you'll start to notice words sounding the same and things looking the same. And what I want you to do is to create the lens of, wait a second, I can leverage AI to be anything that I want it to be. So leverage your own creativity. But Rob, what if I'm not creative? I want you to just take what is in your head and get it into ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, right? I call this thinking into the AI, because the next level here, and if you can get this, man, I look forward to the thank you letter from the person who actually does this. The absolute superpower in AI is your ability to think bigger and dream as big as possible. Why? Because you can use ChatGPT to write you an email or build you a rocket ship to the moon. Everything in between there is the capacity of what's possible. So the majority of people in corporate America right now who are barely dabbling, what they're doing is they're saying, oh, Rob, yeah, I'm using AI. I'm writing it for some emails and a little brainstorming here and there, and that's about it, right? So the capacity of which they are using it is like 0.1%. Versus, imagine setting a standard for yourself that's like, you can literally build and dream and do anything in the world of AI. It doesn't mean you're going to snap your fingers and it's going to happen, but you can use AI to reverse engineer the steps, the how-tos, the blind spots, the hidden and the non-obvious. What am I not seeing in all of this? Because part of the game is being in the game. And then once you're in the game, why would we play small if we can play big? Because it's all the same difference right there. And I love this because you have the ability to create things that nobody else in the world does. So think about this advantage for you right now, sitting there in your 20s. You are in the greatest time in the history of your generation. There will never be another generation right now in their 20s that is growing up in the innovation and AI era that has taken off like a rocket ship, right? I lived pre-internet. I'm going to date myself. So pre-internet, we had tapes and CDs and Napster. And now all of a sudden you guys can just snap your fingers. You got Netflix, Spotify, YouTube, all this stuff, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, all of that. So you sit there and you say, we know by design, people older than us in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, they're not going to be learning what we're learning, and they're also not going to apply it in our way. So many people might see when you're in your 20s, I don't have a lot of air quotes experience, meaning job experience, or maybe you're also green in life experience. But here's the thing, you've got taste. You know what's popping off right now with you and your friends and culture and what you're seeing in the market. You do have experiences of what you're noticing with your groups of friends and the people and the things that you're seeing online. So here's an easy way to think about this. Who would you rather hire if you're running a company to run your social media right now? A girl who is 28 years old, who has been living on social media pretty much her entire life, who loves Instagram and filters and videos and all of that stuff? Or somebody who's 50 years old who's just using this to check off a box? No, the younger generation brings a level of experience in way that they do things that the older generation does not. Are we flipping the narrative right now on where there are built-in advantages that you have that the older generation does not? Now imagine applying that lens to AI and what is possible for you. And then the last mindset and skill that I want you to acquire is communication and connection. And once again, this goes back to the human first, heart first perspective, because I know this to be true because I live it and see it every single day. The world is so fast to outsource their authenticity and connection to tech, tools, automation, and the robots. We're about to enter a very sterile era in the world, which means for me, I'm not about that life. I want to triple down on humans and connection and communication. Very few people in the world wake up and it's like, oh, I want to work on being a better communicator. Except the thing that actually makes the world go round is your relationships and your ability to connect with other people. This is the thing that tech people don't have. They do not have very good social skills. Ask anybody who's dealt with people in the tech department. Not exactly their thing. But one of the things that was always a superpower for me in college and in my 20s is my social skills. I was in a fraternity in college. I was a work hard, play hard, ad sales party bro, where I was going out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, fun day. And yes, my life has evolved and changed since then. I'm married. I've got a 4-year-old toddler. I'm not about that life anymore. However, one of the things that has really served me is my ability to connect with people. And then the next level becomes my ability to communicate. So one of the skills that would be super valuable for you is to learn how to speak on camera, get comfortable on camera, your ability to write. Crazy concept. You're telling me AI can write whatever you want just like this? Yeah, I get it. But I want your essence and your ability to communicate to shine and be unique and be different. And this is a completely contrarian approach, which is exactly why it works. Because I don't want to be doing what everybody else is doing because I will just get the same results as everybody else. And I don't want the same results as everybody else. I want to be great because I am great. And the same is true for you. So I want to give you this fuel and this fire and enthusiasm and inspiration that everything that you can conceivably dream of is possible right now. And this is the best time in the world for you to be in your 20s because of how you choose to see the game of AI. So the next question here is, which AI should I be using? And it's actually a trick question because the answer is, it doesn't matter. Because I just want you in the game, stacking ones over zeros. Because the majority of people in corporate America right now, they're stacking zeros or dabbling or barely using it. So all of the tools out there are free on the lowest level. Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini. right now when we're recording this, if you're like, Rob, I'm at 0, where do you recommend? Start with Claude. Claude is straight crushing right now. But you can understand that with innovation, like any other part of life, that things are going to constantly evolve. So back in the early internet days, Google was not first. Yahoo was before it. In the social media days, Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, those weren't first. No, it was MySpace. So we understand that things are going to evolve. So we want to be tool agnostic, meaning it's not about the tools themselves. They're going to come and go. It's about how you think about how you use the tools themselves. And with this, it's a simple understanding. But if you're like, hey, Rob, all right, I'm going to sign up for Claude. What do I do now? Just start stacking those ones over zeros. Get in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour session. Well, what do I put in there? All right, if you don't know what to put in there, ask yourself any of these 3 questions. Number 1, what's alive in me right now? What's that mean? What just comes top of mind for you? What have you been thinking about? What's on your mind? Just dump that in there. Number 2, what are your goals and dreams and vision? Right? The big stuff. Get that in there. And if you don't even know what that is, say, hey, Claude, I want to work on my goals and dreams and vision, but I'm not even clear on what that is because I'm 20 years old. I barely have a job. I don't really like it. I'm worried about what's going to happen with jobs in the future. Can you help give me some roadmap and clarity? And then number 3 would be, what are you feeling challenged by in your life? Where is there pain? Where is there friction? Because once you identify that, you can put that into AI and then it can help you overcome those things. So you never for the rest of your life have to worry about, what do I do when I'm stuck? What do I do when I don't know what to put into AI? What's alive in me? What are my dreams? Where's there pain and challenge in there? And the way that I want to wrap this up is by giving you guys some belief busters, the things that we are going to throw in the trash. Number 1, I am not a tech person. And that somehow, because you're not a tech person, that disqualifies you from using AI. Throw that in the trash because it does not matter. I do not have a tech background. I do not have a coding background. I do not have an automation background. What I do have a background in is being all in on my dreams. And I'm forward thinking. I have the gift of vision. So once I saw what was possible when I signed up for ChatGPT for the first time, I looked around and I was like, can you believe that this is real? This feels like magic, because I'd spent a decade in corporate America not liking what I was doing, a decade of entrepreneurship, building a sports marketing agency, grinding, hustling, making these things happen. And all of a sudden it was like, poof, you can do it just like this. If you even realized the advantage you have right now based on what I've been doing for the last 25 years, you're a million miles ahead of me right now. This is legit too, right? If I could push a magic button and give myself AI back then, 1, I wouldn't have been equipped to handle it because I never would have had something like this video right now because I was never exposed to these things. But that's the beauty of you receiving this right now from searching for it, or a parent or a friend or somebody in your community sending this to you. And if you're vibing with this, hey man, pay this forward, send this to somebody else who needs to see this, because this can legitimately change lives, because it's changing my lives and that of my clients. So, another thing on this, the no tech background, somehow I was able to go from 0, not knowing AI exists, to speaking on stages 3 years later about AI. Well, how in the world did I do that? Stacking ones over zeros, get better every single day, put in my dreams and goals and vision. So the reason I want to highlight this is because all the people in corporate America right now, they're not going to do any of this. So your ability to stack ones over zeros once a week, for a month, for a year, for 3 years, for 10 years will become the ultimate advantage, because that's the game that I'm playing in my clients too. Because yes, some of those jobs might not be there because of AI, but here's the thing. I want you to become so good that they can't ignore you, that you're going to become undeniable, and you're going to be the one that they're asking for the jobs. And you're just going to start one day at a time. The next thing, not having a tech background is a massive advantage because everybody else is going to be limited from the fact, I'm not a tech background, I can't do this. So they're not going to be in the game. But you understand that that is not a limitation. That's just a scarcity mindset. Yes, 99% of the information about AI is going to come from tech background people. But guess what? That's not the way that you and I live in everyday life. So why is it that like somehow tech people rule the AI industry, but then everyday life, that's not the case? So do not believe that it is the thing, because the thing that is the real superpower for you in the AI era is experience, life experience, business experience, creativity experience, your ability to fail a bunch of times. I legitimately have 16 years in a row of receipts of all of the mistakes, the challenges, the pitfalls, the things that did not work out for me. And guess what? It is the blessing of all blessings, because now I know what not to do and I can pay it forward for you. And with this right now, the last thing that I want to shatter is that somehow the timing isn't right. Oh man, I'm graduating high school or college right now, or I'm in my early career, and my parents or my advisors are saying, hey, get a safe job and get a paycheck because this is how things are always done right now. Throw that in the trash, because I want you to have this perspective instead. Get in the game and get the meter running, because here is, and I've said advantage a lot of times, but it's all true. One of the things that you have as an advantage over me is that you eventually will have more time in market with AI than I do. You will go from being 20 to 30 years old. Sounds crazy, I know, but you will. And you will go from 30 to 40, 40 to 50. You might have kids, you might have a spouse, you might have multiple locations or jobs or places that you live. But here's the thing, AI is not going away. This is going to be with you for the rest of your life. So I always say to my clients, get the meter running, right? 1 turns into 10, turns into 100, turns into 1,000. I've been using AI for 1,200 straight days. So with that in mind, you're now like, okay, it's not bad that I'm at the beginning. It just means let me get in. And oh, by the way, you're going to get in before 99% of people in the world do. So think of it this way. There's a segment of the population right now who are going to crush because they are younger and learned before everybody else. Just the challenge in the market that I see right now is there's very few people, teachers, companies, universities who are able to bring this level of specificity and insight and inspiration into the world of AI because they have not lived it. I've lived it on AI, I've lived it in entrepreneurship, and I've lived it for 25 years on what didn't work in my life, and that's why I'm paying this forward for you right now. So my encouragement and inspiration for you as we wrap a bow on this thing right now, lean in to AI, not as the thing that we're all techie, but as the thing that you are leveraging. We're not trying to get better at AI. We're trying to get better at bringing our dreams and goals and vision to life faster. Use AI to connect with more people. Use AI to learn and grow. Use AI to teach yourself new things. And find the people, the experts out there that can help you accelerate that into what you're doing, because you're not likely going to find very many companies or entrepreneurs out there who can even speak this to validate this for you. But let that be your advantage, that when you lean in with these perspectives, the self-awareness, the growth mindset, the learning and reading 30 minutes a day, these are the little inches, because we're on your path to greatness. It is oftentimes 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. I just so happened to stack up ones and zeros over 16 years in a row until AI came around, and I was like, let's go, I'm all in. And if it's possible for me, it's possible for you. So the way that we're going to do this now is I want you to take this transcript, and once again, I'm going to put it in the description for what to do, and then cook with this in Claude, and we're going to create an AI playbook for you and help you with your first steps, creating a portfolio, creating a roadmap, and doing so in a way that is personalized to you. Because that's the big problem. No one's just ever shown you how to do this in a way that speaks your language. But that's exactly what we're going to do. What are your interests? What are your goals? What are your dreams? What would you like to do more of? What do you not to like to do of? How can we make this simple and easy? And if you made it this far, I would love to hear from you. Hit me up on Instagram or LinkedIn at Rob Cressy. Is there anything that I said that inspired you or caused you to think or take action or pay it forward? Share this with somebody else who needs to hear this, because I believe and I know we have the greatest opportunity in the history of the world to positively impact the world because of the way that we show up and leverage AI. Not because of AI, but because of who we are creating from the heart.